Hello everyone, I'm Spirit Fox Coco, but you can call me Coco, and today I will be redrawing some old Nightcloud and Crowfeather art from 2021, inspired by the song And He Runs by Blixemi. Unfortunately, I lost pretty much all of the original video I took of this, so all I have is the Procreate replay video. Sorry about that. For a while now, I've been trying to decide what my next discussion video would be, and I couldn't decide on any characters or topic I was quite interested in discussing. And about a week ago, I came across some old Nightcloud and Crowfeather art from 2021 on my Instagram account. And then I drew up a sketch and dropped it for the day. The next day, I realized it would be a good idea for a discussion video of Nightcloud and Crowfeather's relationship and how it affected Bree's pelt, and in general, the toxicity of it. There have been plenty of toxic relationships in warrior cats, but Nightcloud and Crowfeather have a sort of unique one, at least in warrior cats, in my opinion. In almost every other toxic relationship in warrior cats, there's been the abuser and the victim. Think Bramblestar and Squirrelflight, Thistleclaw and Spotleaf, Tom and Turtletail, etc. But the situation between Nightcloud and Crowfeather is much more complex. They both involve toxicity in their relationship, and they both affect Bree's pelt in negative ways. Crowfeather shouldn't be neglectful and negative towards his son throughout the entirety of his young life, and doesn't even attempt to support him until he realizes how his actions have affected Bree's pelt during the Great Battle. While this already hurts Bree's pelt, Nightcloud does not make it any better by feeding more negative thoughts into her son's head about his father. Almost every interaction of Nightcloud and Crowfeather in the third and fourth arc shows them arguing and disliking each other. It's not even very surprising their relationship turned out so toxic. It's been said they never loved each other. Nightcloud using him to have kits in fear that she never would, and Crowfeather using her to gain the trust of Winkland back after running away with Leafpool, the ThunderClan medicine cat. And it only made matters worse when Crowfeather found out he was the father of Hollyleaf, Jayfeather, and Lionblaze, Leafpool's kits. In my opinion, Nightcloud is overly hated by the fandom, whereas many people love Crowfeather. Although recently I have discovered more people disliking Crowfeather and more people liking Nightcloud. Now personally, I prefer Nightcloud, just because I think she's a more interesting character, and I like the tough female characters. Crowfeather is a fun character as well, and I like delving into his character and his story. I don't think either of them had malicious intent with their relationship, but I do think they both should have known their relationship was a bad idea. They both could have talked like mature adults, but instead they decided to try and force themselves to love each other and use each other. First, I'm going to delve into Nightcloud's character and part in the relationship. Nightcloud was a young warrior, presumably Crowfeather's age, wanting to have kids before she got much older. There weren't many options in May until the drama around Crowfeather happened. Even despite the clan's distrust in him, she thought he could be a good man and a good father to her kids. She couldn't have known he would have treated Bree's pelt so badly and neglect his relationship with both of them. Like I said, the relationship was a bad idea, but she couldn't have known he was still in love with Leafpool, especially if he told Winkland otherwise to protect himself like Appledusk did. Now here's where she becomes part of the problem. Instead of breaking things off of Crowfeather or doing anything like that, she decided to turn against him and turn her kid against him. Even despite her dislike of him, she becomes possessive of him, and especially around Leafpool. She shows anger anytime he acknowledges that the three are his kits, and anytime he acknowledges his past with Leafpool. She also encourages Bree's pelt to show resentment and hate towards his half-siblings. And in the sight when Bree's pelt nearly suffocates to death during the daylight gathering, she refuses to let Crowfeather carry Bree's pelt back to ThunderClan camp for treatment. She is shown to be a very kind she-cat at times, though, being very grateful towards J-Paw for saving her son in the sight. And an outcast, she's even shown to try and show affection towards Crowfeather, but he simply turns it away. All of this to say, I don't want to put all the blame on Nightcloud. Crowfeather has his fair share of flaws as well. Many times throughout the series, Crowfeather is shown to be very selfish and neglectful. He often just does whatever makes him look the best in the public eye. When the three are revealed to be his kits, instead of owning up to his mistakes and stepping up as a father, instead he decides to pretend as if he has no kinship to them and even tell the kits themselves that he is not their father, no matter what they think. And it's not just the three he treats badly. He treated Bree's pelt badly as well. Nightcloud isn't in total blame of how Bree's pelt turned out. Crowfeather was absent in Bree's pelt's life, even when Bree's paw tried his best to form a relationship with him, as seen in Outcast. And Crowfeather wasn't just a bad father, he was a bad mate towards all of his mates, honestly. While he was mates with Leafpool, I suppose he wasn't all that bad, but afterwards he was rude and spiteful towards her for her decision to stay with her clan after Cinderpelt's death. When it came to his relationship with Nightcloud, it was painfully obvious neither of them became mates for the right reasons. When it came to his relationship with Feathertail, he treated her fine. The only big issue I noticed in their relationship is just the weird age gap, which also happened with Stormfur and Scrollflight, but that's a topic for another video. While on the topic of Feathertail and Crowfeather, I honestly feel like Feathertail will be the one he ends up with when he eventually dies and goes to, probably, StarClan. Despite how he acted with Leafpool and Feathertail's obvious jealousy in A Light in the Mist, from what I've heard at least, I have yet to read that book. Ideally, in the world that I would choose, Crowfeather and Nightcloud would both end up single in StarClan. I think it would be for the best for them. But I think they're equally to blame in their relationship for the toxicity and the issues that Breezepelt formed. I'm not even going to delve into all Breezepelt's issues. Who knows how long the video would be if I did that. But yeah, I feel like people put too much blame on one or the other when they both had roles in their relationship. I think depending where you are in the fandom, you'll either see people saying Nightcloud was entirely to blame or Crowfeather was entirely to blame, which I disagree with both of those statements. There is a nice middle ground in the fandom where people agree that they both had roles in it. I like those people. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against those who think one had a bigger role than the other. I have friends whose opinion is that I just personally disagree, and these are my reasons for why. They both weren't ready for kids or a relationship, I don't think. But I think Crowfeather is in the wrong for the way he treated Nightcloud and later on Leafpool, and for the neglect he showed all 4 of his kids. While I think Nightcloud is in the wrong for encouraging Breezepelt's hostility towards Crowfeather and for her own hostility towards Crowfeather, Leafpool, and the 3. But feel free to share your own opinions in the comments, and please give me some suggestions for the next analysis video. I can't think of who to do next. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.